Okay, here we are with the 1:4 scale museum quality Batman statue from DC Direct. It is a polystone and mixed media statue sculpted by James Shoup. It is, as far as mixed media statues go, it is utterly amazing. As far as I know, right now, the lineup for these the 1:4 museum quality statues from DC Direct includes Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Joker, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn. I think my personal favorite is probably Harley Quinn. It's just outrageous. That statue, if you get a look at the 1:4 Harley Quinn mixed media, it is just, the only word I have is outrageous. But this is a hell of a piece. So here we are with the lights on. What I'm going to do with this video, and with any of my YouTube videos where I'm actually doing a review rather than some sort of a how-to guide or what have you, when it's reviewing a collectible, what I'm going to try to do is give my verdict up front at the beginning of the video. That way you don't have to wait all the way to the end. I hope you'll watch the whole thing, but anyway, I notice myself when I'm watching YouTube reviews on collectibles that I'm interested in, a lot of times what I'm actually doing is watching the reviews, deciding whether to buy it. So don't let me tell you what to buy and not buy, but if you're curious, in my opinion, I'm going to try to do that at the beginning of the video. So for this one, I would say I have two different verdicts, and again, this is my opinion, not your opinions necessarily. So again, don't let me tell you what to buy or not buy. I'm just saying my artistic sensibility. You know, here's what I think. So I'll kind of come at this from two angles. If you're a Batman fan, or a DC Direct 1:4 scale collectible museum quality statue fan, if you're completing the line, yeah, definitely get this. If you're a Batman fan, this is a must-have. I mean, how many times are you gonna find a mixed media statue in this classic Alex Ross style? You know, this is just, you know, excellent. So yeah, it's a must-have for Batman fans and DC Direct fans, absolutely. For statue fans in general, I'm going to call this a pass. I know I'm going to get a lot of trouble in the comments section, but I'll explain why both of those verdicts later on. So again, statue fans in general, I think there are better things you can spend your money on for this price point. Batman fans, DC Direct fans, superhero fans in general, this is definitely something. This is a little bit more than a completionist item. I would label this must-have. So anyway, this Batman is done in the classic Alex Ross style. The gray costume with just the plain bat symbol on the front. Everything is, you know, basic. This is not Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight Rises or what have you. It is approximately 18.5 inches tall. The usage of mixed media on this statue is absolutely great. Very creative, excellent use, real smart, clever, cleverly done. The cape, for example, is two different materials. The interior is this satin. On the camera, it may be showing up, I'm looking at it right now, it looks like it's showing up a little bit blue. Bluish. It is jet black in person, but it's satin. The exterior of the cape is leather. It's actual real leather, and boy does it shine. Let's turn this guy around. Look at this. Look at this. The cape. I need to pull this out a bit, but the way the leather cape interacts with the shoulder, the sculpted. This is hard sculpted polystone resin. The way it interacts with it, how it just sort of leads up into the musculature here, is just great. Such a great use of the leather versus polystone. So I'm going to start using this tuning fork in my reviews. I found that when I'm on YouTube myself, one of the other things I'm commonly doing when I'm watching YouTube reviews is I am watching it because I've made the decision that the pictures at Sideshow Collectibles, the photos at whatever website is selling this item or revealing this item, those pictures and text descriptions are inadequate for me, and I need a better way to imagine the particular item in my home or in my collection. I need that tactile sensation. You know, I need to imagine, you know, how would it feel to me? You know, how would what's the material like? What's the weight like? The heft of the thing. So anyway, I came up with this idea of using a tuning fork. You can get an idea of the materials that are being used. So here we go. The belt the belt boxes appear to be hard plastic sidewalls. You see, very hard plastic. It's definitely not ceramic. It's not metal. It's warm to the touch, whereas this metal belt buckle is cool to the touch. Which means the belt buckle is definitely metal. The belt box, the rest of the belt box, like the top and the front facade or veneer rather, that is leather. That is real leather, just like the cape. So this is interesting. This is really interesting what they've done. These boxes are rigid. They're hard. They're almost as if they're full of something. They're not. I think it's just they're hollow boxes with a hard exterior sculpt. But the sidewalls, again, are like a hard plastic. Either that or they're the hardest leather you've ever felt. You know, I guess you can treat leather in such a way that it becomes like hard plastic. I don't know. But no, it's definitely hard plastic sides and leather. The rest of the box is leather. So interesting use of the media here. Now this is real spandex. The entire figure, wherever there's outfit, the outfit is actual spandex. I don't know how much I want to pinch and pull at this stuff. Maybe I can just move it around, or here the armpit is kind of loose. If I can get my finger in that gap, you can see it's true spandex. It flexes and everything. This may give you an idea of the texture. See, it's sort of a muted tone, whereas you go on some exposed polystone like the arm. You got that. So, and this is all, I believe, this is all the same material. The polystone exposed, the boots and the gloves and the head is the very same material. I think it's the same polystone underneath. I don't see why it wouldn't be underneath the spandex. Moving back to the back here, this cowl is pretty interesting. This musculature I mentioned a second ago. This is a thin plate of sculpt. In other words, the cape actually runs under it. To give you an idea what I'm talking about, I don't know words to describe. So maybe this will help you picture. You hear that sound? Looks like if I hit it too hard, this whole piece of the cowl will snap downward, just break right here. So the head is solid. The neck, pretty solid. It appears that this cowl sculpt becomes thinner and is no longer attached to the figure. Right about there. I don't dare hit it much harder. But this is all one piece. This statue, don't get the wrong idea. I can pick the whole thing up from the head. The cape is also wired, so you've got these wires in here. There are approximately, no, there are exactly, rather, 1, 2, so 1, 2, and 3, 4 wires in this cape, and they allow you to, if you're probably already familiar with wired capes, but if you're not, they allow you to, you can shape the cape. They're just rigid forms inside the interior of the cape that allow you to shape it and get it to stand up. Otherwise, it just hangs down like this. You know, it would just hang down like regular drapery if there weren't. And so this is actually a brilliant form of articulation. A lot of these 1 to 4 scale museum statue from DC Direct have the wire in the case, like Superman. So yeah, you can spend hours screwing around with this. I certainly have. I mean, you can really get this doing crazy stuff. And that brings me to another point about these statues. This currently goes for about $300 in the aftermarket. I was just looking on eBay. They're advertised around $500, but I see they're closing on eBay at least for $300. I believe it's $449 or $450 on Amazon. It's quite a lot of money to spend on a statue that's not articulated. And I'm hearing these arguments And these people are making these arguments are obviously not statue collectors, but I'm hearing these arguments about, why don't you spend, if you're going to spend $300 on a figure, or a figurine, whatever you want to call it, why not spend $300 on a Hot Toys? It's fully articulated, and they look totally real and blah, 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 well, there's a few reasons why, people talking about all the articulation. I love Hot Toys. I can't get enough of these things. I mean, obviously, you can tell that I have actually spent hours playing with the articulation on these, trying to get them into poses and things like that. But here's the thing. I mean, well, articulation alone, this cape, this cape will probably provide you with as many hours of articulation, enjoyment, and fun, just trying to pose it. And I mean, really, as one of these guys, it's hard to believe, but it's really a fun thing to play with. They give you so much, four full-length wires, not, and I will point out that the Batman from Hot Toys only has 2 wires, one here and one here on the cape, and they only go out to about just beyond the shoulders, so there's really no articulation in the Hot Toys cape. Anyway, this is not a Hot Toys versus statues comparison. What I want to say is that when you bring someone over your house, I mean, my house is, my toy room, my collectibles room, is full of toys, and I mean toys. The 3.75-inch Star Wars, you got some G.I. Joe vintage, I got some Kai, Play Arts, NECA, but these are toys, There are people out there that don't want to have a lot of toys in there. I don't want it to look like toys. They don't want to have to, when people come over, they want to bring their co-workers over and explain why they have all these toys, These museum pieces are just a little more grown-up looking, I think, for some people. I like the toys as well, but some people just have a thing about it. So you have to make less excuses for your habit with museum pieces and statues, statuettes, and things like that than you do with a room full of toys. And the other thing is, none of these Hot Toys, as great as they look, none of them are going to be a centerpiece of your living room or your whatever, your toy room. There's no real centerpiece like a statue. A statue is a firm, solid, large form, tool for setting the mood of the room. This goes in your home theater. This goes in your, this goes in a businessman's office, and no one comes in his office and says, what are you, some kind of child, a man-child, play with toys? No one says that when they come in an office and see. You can have in a CEO's office a thing like this, and no one's going to question it. Whereas, if my coworkers, if I work in a cube farm, and there's a bunch of these on my desk, maybe people will start asking questions. I don't think I'd put all these on my desk anyway because I wouldn't want them to get stolen. Really expensive and a lot of fun to play with. So, and the other thing about articulation is that, I love articulation. I can't get enough of it. I'm big into articulation, but I will say, to the credit of people who are exclusively statue collectors and don't buy action figures at all, it's a pain. Sometimes it's just a pain. People aren't in the mood. People don't feel like dealing with spending a couple hours posing these things, these action figures. It's crazy, it can really, anyway, I don't know, some people just want to buy it out of the box, set it up, and put it up in their place, and have it look great, and that's what you get with these statues. I mean, that's a big difference. Some people can't be bothered to do that. That's not everybody's thing. Sitting around posing these things. I love it, but it's not for everybody. So here, I mean, you just open the box, put it together, and put it on display, and it's automatically great, striking pose. The other question is, collectors of things like Hot Toys and NECA and all these other figures, how often do you change the pose on them anyway? I mean, really, realistically, I leave mine up in the same pose for like a year at a time. So, anyway, here's an interesting piece. The Batarang is actually removable. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little feature they have here. It's pretty simple. It's nothing, but basically, you've got this little pin here. If you can see, I'll hold it away, hold it against the wall. You see this little pin in the bottom, and it fits into this little hole in his thumb right there. So you just slot it into the open fist, and you see I've got that pin inserting right into the hole on the top of his thumb knuckle. Another thing to point out is that the Batarang is hinged. Can you see this? Yeah, it looks like it's... I've got it as close as I can while keeping it in focus. The Batarang is hinged, so I'm going to just fold it in half. I'll begin to fold it. You see? It folds in half. I'm not going to go all the way. I really don't see a reason to fold this. I don't know why they added that articulation, but it is cool. It's just another extra little bell and whistle type thing. So here's another point of interest worthy of note. The box itself that he comes in. It is... Let's get the trusty measuring tool out here. It is 22 inches, a little over 22 inches by 15 inches by 12 inches. So that is huge. That is a mighty box worthy of a mighty superhero. So on the front, I mean, I can barely get this thing in the frame. I can't get it in the frame, actually. On the front, you've got the embossed Batman, image here. Just some information about it. I guess you can read it yourself. There's a little more down here. Trademark, all that kind of business. Let's get this out of the way. And then here inside, you can see they did an excellent packing job. Let's see if I can... Well, I'll just take this out. Let's just get to business here. We've got this. Stand this guy up. It's really great. See, you've got this really wonderful cover, styrofoam cover here. It has the certificate of authenticity. It's kind of like a comic book cover there. The Relief Batman logo. You want to leave this in place. Don't open it for, ruins the, I don't know, authenticity. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, so in here you've got a really efficient, effective packing system. These little compartments here. I mean, it is what it is. It's absolutely great. I could talk all about it, but instead of wasting your time, I'll just point out the one big thing of note here, and that is this compartment here. You see how I can reach my hand all the way back in there? You see that? That's for his cape. So what I want to tell people about this is, if you open this and take him out, be ready to put him up somewhere. Put Batman up on display somewhere. Be ready to not put him back in the boxes. You're going to have to stuff that whole cape neatly. Try not to wrinkle it. It's leather. You don't want to crush it up. You're gonna have to stuff that back in here. This is where his cape rests. So you don't want to take that lightly. I mean, this is a museum piece here. So yeah, if you take him out, make sure he's out for good, or at least for a good long time, because it's going to be a pain getting it back in here nice and neat without wrinkling everything up. Otherwise, all I can say is this is just excellent. This is one of the most excellent packing jobs I've seen. You can guarantee that if your Batman arrives broken, it's not the fault of this box. It was broken at the factory. Excellent work. So yeah, the box is also worth noting that I don't have the entire line yet, but I believe only Superman and Batman out of the line get this giant size box. So I have to check on that to make sure, but it looks like only Batman and Superman so far. So it's also worth noting that the box itself is not just cardboard. The inner layer is cardboard, yeah, but I mean the box is made out of rigid cardboard, but it's wrapped in this sort of, it's like a fabric-y paper. It's a paper. It's hard, dry, hard to the touch. It's not soft like a fabric, but when you look closely, you can see. Let me see if I can. I'll take a photograph and show. There's actual cross stitching. There's cross stitching in the fabric or paper fabric, whatever that the box is wrapped in. So just another little nice touch they made. Really make sure you're getting a deluxe package here. You're not just getting a cardboard box to keep it in. So here we are at the final portion of our review. This is what I guess I'll just call the verdict. I don't know if you're interested in my verdict or my opinion, but I'm just going to try to explain what I meant with what I said at the beginning of the video about, whether this is something to pass on or go ahead and snap up, buy immediately. And so anyway, yeah, so like I said, I attacked this from two different angles. So two different verdicts. One from the perspective of a big Batman collector. If you're exclusively collecting Batman or just DC superheroes, I've got one verdict for you. And if you're just a statue collector in general, you just love statues, I have a different verdict. So let's go from the perspective of a Batman collector or a superhero collector. There are there's like I said in the beginning, this is a line now. This is a DC Direct line. These museum quality superhero statues, 1:4 scale. So for you might want to pick this up just to be a completionist, but I would even go as far to say if you were going to choose only a few of them, not complete the whole line, this would definitely be one that you've got to have in your collection. It's one of the better ones. There's Harley Quinn, is excellent. I liked Superman. Not everybody liked the Superman. I thought the leather cape in Superman's case worked even. I don't know. It resonated with me for some reason. Reminded me of the Superman 2 cape or Superman 3, I forget which movie. But the Harley Quinn is great. This Batman is great. There's a couple must-haves in the line, even if you didn't get them all. Just from a Batman perspective, there are other Alex Ross style Batman statues in this scale out there, but not necessarily mixed media. This is one of those things where are you going to find this kind of presentation? If this is your Batman, if you like the 50s and 60s style Batman, and you must have mixed media, this is it. I mean, this is your centerpiece. You just found your centerpiece. Now let's move over to statue collectors in general. This is a $300 price point here. If you're going on Amazon or most of the online sellers, you're looking at $450, $400 to $450. If you're going to the aftermarket like eBay, I see these are closing on a regular basis. These are closing at $300, just even all the time. So you can score this for $300, no less. I would say this: if you're not a crazy Batman collector and you're just looking for a good statue for $300, this is not your statue. Even with the mixed media, there's not enough detail in here compared to what's on the market now. I mean, it's detailed. It's great. I mean, that base. It's just the stand that he stands on, the Batcave stand. It's nice looking. It's an excellent sculpt. But I mean, look at the Arthas statue, the Arthas from World of Warcraft. That's in that range. I think it's $300 to $400 more likely. There's the Ben Kenobi Mythos statue. That's detail. You could say that's like the Arthas, the sculpting on the armor, the etching. In his armor, the Mythos Ben Kenobi, all the different things he's carrying on his back and stuff like all the detail in his clothing. Those are like Where's Waldo paintings where you could just come and look at it every day and still find new things about it to enjoy. And they're both in the same price point, same price range as this Batman. So and you know what? Even if you're a Batman fan, I have to say, I mean, have you seen the Andy Bergholtz one that's coming out this year in 2014? It's not mixed medium, but it's the Alex Ross style. Man, it is detailed. It's just crazy. Like, that's why I can't say that this is your definitive Batman. Maybe a year or two ago this would have been, but that Andy Bergholtz from the Gore Group, it's coming out. I guess a Sideshow is selling it soon. That is going to be your definitive Batman for this. For this type of costume, this era Batman. So that's it. That's the review. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.